What's up guys? Welcome back to Jeremy's Kitchen. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe and hit that like button down below. Alright, let's get started. So a lot of you have been asking for the recipe. You've been seeing the lasagna that I've been cooking. It's very, very healthy. It's very lean. I actually, you can modify it to whatever your fitness goals are. So if you want to make it have more protein, or you can make it even leaner, you can use lean ground chicken, or you can chop up some of your own chicken breast. In this recipe in particular for today, we are using 93% lean ground turkey. If you want to make it even leaner, you can use lean ground turkey breast. Okay, other option, lean ground chicken breast. So first ingredient, we've got fat-free cottage cheese. Okay, so if you want the macro breakdown, it all depends, and you can adjust it based off of your own fitness goals. So perfect example, if I have my lasagna set up in this tray right here, and you wanted to cut it into 8 servings, you would take each individual ingredient and the amount that you have in your recipe, and you would divide it by 8. If you wanted 6, you can divide it by 6. If you want 10 pieces, you take each ingredient and divide it by 10 and just add that up. Add up the protein, the carbs, the fat, and the calories. Fat-free cottage cheese, and we've got traditional, just regular marinara sauce, and we've got some oregano seasoning, and we've got some dried parsley flakes, and we've got some salt-free Mrs. Dash seasoning. Normally, when we cook the ground turkey, I might put a little bit of salt, maybe a little bit of pepper, but I am gonna put a little bit of marinara sauce in it to make the meat sauce. This actually already has a lot of sodium, so a little bit of sodium is not good, but too much sodium. A little bit of sodium is good, but too much sodium is not good. So keep that in mind. A lot of this stuff, like the cottage cheese and the cheese that we're using, already has a lot of sodium in it. Next ingredient, 93% lean ground turkey. Oven ready lasagna noodles. Make sure that you use the oven ready noodles because they're going to cook when they're in the oven. So they come just like this. And for today, we're gonna use 6 lasagna noodles in the recipe. And then we've got 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese, 4 ounces of low fat mozzarella cheese, basically 1 heaping cup. Chopped, finely chopped Italian parsley. It's all up to you how much parsley you want to use in the recipe. This is actually just to kind of dress it up a little bit in the end. We're gonna sprinkle it over the top as soon as we have our whole setup here. You know, personal preference. You can even do bell peppers if you want. You can do fresh tomatoes if you want. We're gonna do 1 cup of finely chopped white onions. You can do purple onions. It doesn't have to be exactly this way. And then we've got 2 pieces of chicken sausage, which are actually in the toaster oven right over there, and they've just finished up, so I'm gonna get those out. We're gonna add that to the mixture as well. So we're gonna go step by step. First step, we're gonna go ahead and preheat the oven to 350. 1.5 pounds of turkey, put it at about medium high heat. We're gonna throw on some Mrs. Dash seasoning on there. It all depends on how much flavor you want. So you can put a little bit of seasoning, you can put a lot of seasoning. That's your choice. Now, remember, when we're cooking our ground turkey and our other meats like our chicken, most meats have enough fat in them, so you don't need to use olive oil, you don't need to use coconut oil, you don't need to use butter, you barely even need to use cooking spray on foods like this because it already has enough fat in it. And remember, those fats are gonna add up, and that's gonna give you extra calories that you don't need. So that's gonna keep you from keeping a small waistline and staying lean all year round. But that's why I always say make sure you do your cardio, because if you do your cardio, you can afford to take in a little bit extra calories here and there anyways, and you're gonna burn right through it. You gotta get in all your cardio every week without fail. That's where self-discipline comes into play. Remember that. We're gonna throw our onions into the mixture. All right, so we have our ground turkey, which is now done and it's cooked. There's no pink in it, as you can see. Make sure it's cooked all the way through. And just a quick reminder, take note, in your ground turkey, you can add whatever you like, okay? You can modify this, you can customize it to the way that you like it. You can add eggplant, you can add mushrooms, you can add red bell peppers, green bell peppers, you can add some carrots if you want, you can add fresh tomatoes. It depends on how much different kind of vegetables you want to put in. So keep that in mind, and those vegetables are not going to work against you if your goal is to get leaner or to lose fat or to stay lean. Vegetables, you can afford to eat a lot of those with little to no consequence. So here's our strainer. We're gonna go ahead and get rid of the liquids and the fats through here and let that strain for a second. So what I like to do after I drain all the grease and the fat, I'm going to put it back in the pan and I'm gonna put it back on the stove. And I'm gonna put it on very, 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 very low heat of this pasta sauce. So it gets inside of the turkey and the turkey will take up some of the flavor of the tomato sauce. So we're gonna let this cook in here with the sauce for about 3 to 5 minutes, just a little bit on very low heat. And just chop it up. Make sure there's no big chunks in there. Okay, so now we're gonna take our container of fat-free cottage cheese, that's 16 ounces here. We're gonna add our 1/4 cup of shredded Parmesan cheese or grated Parmesan cheese. And we're gonna mix, and you can use shredded Parmesan cheese or grated Parmesan cheese. And we're gonna go ahead and mix that around. And I like to put a little bit of dried parsley flakes in there. And a little bit of dried oregano leaves in there as well. Why not? Let's go ahead and put a little bit of Miss Dash in there too. Just spice it up. We're gonna mix that around. Okay, so we're gonna take about a little bit under half of the meat. Put a little bit more sauce in there as well, right on top, just a tad. And we're going to mix that around so it's nice and even. About as close as you can get it to even. Half of the cottage cheese mixture in there as well. Try to get it as even as possible. So every single delicious piece of lasagna that you get has a good amount of cheesy taste to it. But once you cook this in the oven, it's all gonna spread out pretty even either way. Next, on top of the lasagna, we're gonna go ahead and chop up 1 chicken sausage. And we're gonna spread that out evenly. So you can use, there's mozzarella chicken sausage, there's pineapple chicken sausage, there's all different kinds of flavors. You can customize it and you can make it your own. So we're gonna push those down just a little bit and we're gonna take. So there we have our first layer of our lean, healthy, anabolic lasagna. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and repeat the layering process again. So we're gonna add more meat sauce, once again. So you're splitting all the ground turkey that we used for the recipe, which was 1.5 pounds. We're splitting that into 3 different layers, actually. So we're gonna make sure we use it nice and evenly so we have enough to last us for 3 layers for the recipe. So as you can see, there's plenty of room for more lasagna if you want to make yours higher in protein. So we're gonna go ahead and add a little bit of meat sauce on there as well. And we're gonna go ahead and take chicken sausage number 2, slice that up. Very important to have sharp knives. It's gonna make things a lot easier for you. So if you don't have good knives, make sure that you get some good and sharp knives so you can cut stuff. It makes your job a lot easier in the kitchen. So we're gonna go ahead and add 3 noodles on top of that. So there we are. And then we're gonna take our last layer and we're gonna add that on top. Once again, nice and evenly all over the top. And then we put our meat sauce. We're gonna use the rest all over the top. And then we're gonna add a little bit more cottage cheese. Try to get that spread as evenly as possible. There's not that much left, but we're gonna make it work. And then we're gonna take our mozzarella cheese. And there we have it. Super healthy, super lean, high in protein, low in fat, anabolic pasta. So we're gonna go ahead and let that bake for about 20 to 25 minutes, depending on what kind of oven you have. This is a convection oven, so it tends to cook things pretty quickly. So anywhere from 20 to 25 minutes. I'm gonna let mine cook, and then once the timer is done, I'm gonna remove the foil and let it cook for another 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how crispy you like the cheese to be on the top. I like mine a little bit brown, a little bit burnt, slightly, almost burnt. Not quite burnt, but almost burnt. So I just keep an eye on it. So once that timer goes off, remove that foil, and you're gonna let it cook for just a few more minutes, and then let it sit and enjoy. I got my hangry mitts, and I'm gonna pull this out. So it's been 25 minutes, and we're gonna take the foil off of the top. So there we go. It's nice and cheesy, even though it's low fat. It's still nice and cheesy. We have now removed the foil off the top, and we're gonna put this back in the oven for about 10 to 15 more minutes. And we'll just keep an eye on it. All right, it is time. We have our finished product, and I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing out of the oven. Check it out. That is hot. It's actually steaming and bubbling. So there it is. The only thing left to do is get a plate and a Diet Coke and enjoy. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, comment, like, and share. Until next time, Jeremy the Machine Scott, out.